Over the last 8 years, I have read hundreds of books from business to personal development to finance and everything in between. From these hundreds of books, I broke down 11 books that helped me get to where I am today. If you're wondering why I'm making such a big deal out of these books, I'll tell you exactly how I started reading, because I used to not really be a reader. I used to be an architect making $30,000 a year living in New York City, and I started my first side hustle during this time as an architect. And I started reading books on my commute to and from work each day. I'd never taken a business course in my life, nor could I afford to go to business school. So these books became my personal business school, and I got where I am today from reading them. I've gotten such a huge return on the investment from reading books that one of my personal rules is that if I want a book, I buy it. You pay for books twice. You pay once when you buy them, and the second time when you invest the time into reading them. So here are 11 books I would recommend to buy twice. 1, The $100 Startup. You don't need much money to begin a business. Many of us feel like we need to invent or come up with the next big idea in order to start the business. We think that, okay, what is my big thing that I'm gonna spend the rest of my life on? But we don't have to do that. In fact, if you are in a job and you're trying to replace your income, don't try to do this. You need a freedom vehicle, which doesn't have to be something that you spend the rest of your life on. So $100 Startup is a great book on ideas and stories of people that change their life with a very little amount of money. And to prove that point, I started my first business, which got me out of my job with less than $500. Book number 2, Contagious by Jonah Berger. This book is great for figuring out why some ideas thrive while others die. He shares 6 principles for making ideas catch on. The 6 principles are: 1, social currency. We share things that make us look good. 2 is triggers. So we share whatever comes top of mind and becomes tip of the tongue. Number 3, emotion. We share what we care about. Number 4 is public. We share what's visible and shows up. 5, practical value. We share what's useful because we want to be helpful as humans. Number 6 is stories. If it tells a good story, we are going to be able to share it more. This book is a great informative read, so if you have an idea and want to know how to have it catch on more, I'd recommend it. Number 3, Principles by Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio started from basically nothing and is now a multi-billionaire. And this book shares his life and work principles and the standards that he uses to make decisions. The book describes in detail how to achieve any objective, from your small individual goal to an organization huge goal with a clear framework. And given what I do with Best Self, you can see why this appealed to me. One of my favorite takeaways from Principles is when Dalio describes his baseball card system. The baseball card system is one in which each person on your team has their own card which outlines strengths and weaknesses. And that means you're aligning and giving them tasks that align with their strengths and not their weaknesses. So you don't have a big picture thinker in the weeds dealing with the details, that sort of thing. Number 4, how to fail at almost everything and still win big. So Scott Adams, in case you don't know, is the creator of the comic strip Dilbert. And this book shares all the times he's failed in life and yet still made it big. He talks about creating systems instead of relying on goals. He shares how learning unique skills doubles your chance of luck finding you. A big takeaway I got was it's unlikely that you're gonna have one exceptional skill that is gonna take you where you wanna go, but if you stack several skills together, you can win. Every skill that you add doubles your chance of success. And some skills are more valuable than others. And it gives some really good examples of this in the book, including the skill of persuasion. Number 5, Atomic Habits by James Clear. This is an incredible book which offers a proven framework for how to change your life through habit formation. This book came out a few years ago after I'd created Best Self, but is pretty much what we created Best Self around. So success is created through everyday habits and systems, not hacks done overnight. He talks about habit stacking, which is the best way to form a new habit, habit tracking, designing your environment, both physical and social, for habit building success, how to stop procrastinating, implementing intentions and motivational rituals, ton of stuff around how to just get better every single day. So highly recommend it. Lots of actionable ideas, tactics, and strategies that you can apply as soon as you finish the book or sooner. Number 6, Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. So Chris Voss used to be an FBI negotiator, and this is an incredible book around negotiation and psychology. Many of the tips I learned in this book have saved me literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. So the ROI on this book is incredible if you take what you learn and apply it. One of the big takeaways on negotiation I had was you set your target price, so this is your goal price, and then you make your first offer 65% of what the target price is. And then you calculate 3 raises of decreasing increments, so you go from 65 to 85 to 95, and then you go to 100%, which is what you were planning to pay in the first place. So it's a really good book. He shares different ways of saying no and using empathy in order to get what you want. 7, ultimate sales machine. So instead of doing 4,000 different things in your business, you should do 8 specific tasks perfectly 4,000 times instead. So the Ultimate Sales Machine shows you how to tune up, soup up every part of your business in only 1 hour a week. So you spend 1 hour on each impact area that you want to improve, whether it's sales, marketing, management, and doing this systematically will help you improve your business without it seeming like an overwhelming task. Number 8, the E-Myth Revisited. The E-Myth was the driving factor that took my small business, which had been basically controlling my life, and transforming it into an actual business. It allowed me to understand what I was doing wrong so that I could put things in place so that then I'm working on my business instead of always being in the weeds and working in it. This allowed me the freedom to grow revenue and have more free time. If you're a small business owner, or maybe you're just thinking of starting a business, I wish I'd read this earlier than I did because it gave me so much headspace back from just doing it. So I would highly recommend it. 9, I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. Personal finance doesn't have to be boring, and before I read this book, I was really overwhelmed by it. Whether you want to save for retirement, invest, whatever your income level is, this book is a financial action plan for everyone. Before I read this book, I was caught in analysis paralysis. I didn't know what to do with investing. I thought I had to figure out the right stocks to pick. Literally, I had no idea where to start, and I was actually losing money not doing anything. So Ramit Sethi talks about how to invest, what you should be doing. He also has scripts that have literally saved thousands of dollars on loan interest, helped me lower phone, internet, and insurance bills, as well as getting a bunch of stupid fees removed. So this book is hugely important for financial education. I read this book in 2013 and I got a huge return on it, and I just bought the latest version, which is updated to more current events. So I'd highly recommend it. It really gave me the confidence to take control of my financial life, which before then I'd kind of avoided. Number 10, Rich Dad Poor Dad. This is a classic for a lot of entrepreneurs that I know. This book basically drilled the concept of wealth, liabilities, and assets. It was one of the first books I read around financial education and how rich people think about money. My 3 biggest takeaways were the poor and middle class work for money, the rich have money work for them. 2, learn to use your emotions to think, not think by your emotion. And 3, assets put money into your pocket, liabilities take money out of your pocket. And it's really important to know the difference. 11, Measure What Matters by John Doerr. Now, this is a must-read book for becoming a better manager. Management is a learned skill, and if you haven't had the opportunity to work with talented leaders, this book will provide foundational elements of focusing a business regardless of its size. I've never personally worked with an excellent manager to learn these skills from someone else, so I struggled at the start and would have loved to read this book earlier. Now, this is the foundation of what we call OKRs, which is objectives and key results. You set a goal, which is the objective, and then you set tasks to achieve the goal, which is key results, and then you make the tasks measurable. One of the takeaways from the book is the importance of company culture to create an environment of transparency. So this will bring problems and weaknesses to the surface so that you can deal with them and actually move forward. So many companies just avoid problems, they swipe everything under the rug, and they don't actually get to the problem, which means they don't solve anything. So, great book on management. If you're interested in any of those books, I will post a link in the description below. And all these books together, you can buy for less than $200 for all of them, and you will get a huge return on investment. I guarantee it. Thanks for watching, and it's time to get to reading.